Pelagial is the sixth LP which released in 2013 from German progressive metal band The Ocean, currently named The Ocean Collective. Around 40 musicians have circulated throughout the project since its formation in 2000. This large number of members creates a rich tapestry of various instrumentation and influences that spread across the breadth of The Ocean's discography. Amid the swirling storm of members is the one constant and founding guitarist and songwriter Robin Staps. The Ocean focuses on topics and themes relating to the environment and geology, as well as anti-theism and philosophy. Previous albums have had concepts that stretch across multiple albums and epochs of time. In that way, Pelagial is a bit of an outlier, being a singular release. Vocalist Loic Rossetti had a health condition before recording the album, which led to Pelagial initially being an instrumental album. Upon recovery, Loic was thankfully able to add vocals over the instrumentation, which added a narrative that could further flesh out the album's themes. Pelagial follows a literal and a psychological journey which descends through the oceanic depth zones. Chief inspirations for the lyrics include Freudian concepts and the 1979 film Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky, a sci-fi film that follows a man, known as the Stalker, as he guides a writer seeking inspiration and a professor seeking scientific discovery through a restricted area called the Zone, wherein supposedly exists a room that grants your innermost desire. The album often uses lyrics that cite dialogue directly from the film. The narrator of Pelagial pursues a similar journey towards enlightenment. He feels he must sink to the bottom of the ocean in order to find the greater truth. The journey physically downward runs parallel to the journey inwards of the narrator. The album begins with Pelagic, an instrumental opener with soft orchestration, samples of rising bubbles, and a gentle piano. Below the surface yields the Mesopelagic and the Bathyopelagic sections. Here, turbulent riptides are represented by the progressive metal's kinetic energy. Orchestral instruments are still present. These sections are bombastic with a speedy tempo and heavy riffs. The lyrics in Bathyopelagic mention doubt in the journey and fear of the encompassing darkness. Light recedes, and pressure increases throughout the journey. The protagonist remembers his goal from the surface and has made it this far. He decides to press on. In Bathyopelagic 1, Impasses, the narrator seems entrenched in their behavior, while also having some regrets over past decisions. On track Bathyopelagic 2, The Wish in Dreams, the narrator states he is unable to change his dreams and wishes. They instead alter himself. These lyrics are reminiscent of the writer in Stalker, discussing how the meaning of his desires disappear once they are named, that his subconscious desires are different from his conscious ones. The lyrics, how much control do we have over what we wish for, how much is intentional, could reference the philosophical debate of free will or predeterminism, whether we have volition over our actions or everything is already predetermined. Bathyopelagic 3, Disequilibrated, to me is the most chaotic part of the album. Disequilibrated meaning to upset the equilibrium of, to unbalance. Perhaps a violent outburst where the protagonist is feeling pressure from so much introspection. Plunging into the lower depths and runtime of the album, it gradually transitions into slower and more menacing passages of sludge metal, post-metal, and dark ambience. Audio samples from the German 1981 war film Das Boot are used for underwater bubbles, leaking, and pressure to heighten immersion. The Abyssopelagic segments begin this slower transition. Track Abyssopelagic 1, Boundless Vasts, yields clean vocals again, this time bringing a softer, more melancholic feel. Abyssopelagic 2, Signals of Anxiety, presents the narrator as he ponders a dream about a lover he left behind on the shore. The lyrics, she was standing close to the shore, she watched the waves erode, and she said, "You'll understand later." Then she cast a stone into the foam, while something occurred to her, something broke in her, are in reference to the character Porcupine in Stalker, a mentor to the Stalker in the film who met a tragic self-imposed fate over guilt from his subconscious desire being granted by the room instead of his conscious one. As the journey progresses, there is not only fear of the depths, but of what the granted subconscious desire will reveal about oneself. Hadopelagic 1, Omen of the Deep, is an ominous instrumental track which foreshadows the closing track Benthic. Pelagic 2, Let Them Believe, is the epitome of why I love metal. Just over 9 minutes in length, it is a progressive metal tour de force. I interpret the lyrics to reflect on humanity's flaws while also embracing its strengths, leading to one of my all-time favorite crescendos in music. The last 2 minutes are life-affirming and transcendent to me. The lyrics once again are in reference to dialogue from Stalker, such as penultimate track, Demmer Soul Cognitive Dissonance, features entirely aggravated vocals like sludge metal. They sound more unhinged, with no clean vocals to provide melody. Instrumentally, this track represents a shift to post-metal with its focus on atmosphere and drawn-out delivery. Intricate, progressive flourishes have made way for repetitive and distorted riffs. The lyrics come directly from the Book of Revelations, describing the breaking of the sixth seal, the destruction of the world. The protagonist is close to his goal and the effects are cataclysmic. There is no light this close to the seafloor. Darkness awaits within the room and the deepest desire. Closing track, Bend Thick, The Origin of Our Wishes, sees the protagonist reach his goal. It features monstrously heavy, slow as molasses chugging to accompany the more drawn-out vocal delivery. The protagonist enters the room and is unable to describe it. Is it everything he wanted? Pelagial is a masterpiece in musicianship and concept, blending a wealth of skill and craft. I would also recommend listening to the solely instrumental version of the album to gather more of the nuance in the mixing.